And welcome back today to another week of RPL. Today, the first game is going to be the Turtles against the Cute School Girls. A matchup I never expected to see, but yeah, I'm sure it's somebody's fetish somewhere. So we're starting off on the blue side ban with the Turtles, a Karma ban. That's probably
Mm,
a target ban. I don't know, Dennis. Do you know about the Cute School Girls? If they play Karma at all?
they didn't. We just played them a couple hours ago. They didn't play it there. I haven't seen it much in their match history, but maybe it's just something the bottom lane of the Turtles just don't like going up against, or maybe it's a direct counter to what they're trying to draft as a team comp.
Hmm. Next band coming up is going to be a Vi, which is pretty standard. I mean, just that ultimate is very hard to play against. So,
That's targeted to Queen. She
yeah,
is
yeah.
a very
We saw a
specific
game
kind of
with
player.
just Queen completely carrying that. No Pantheon, no ban at all towards King, which might be the good idea because we saw last time uh, a team tried to ban out King. That did not end up going well at all. So just completely dropping that strategy, going for a Vi and Zac ban, really trying to shut down Queen in her champion pool. We'll see how that go. And we got a Zed. Very interesting ban. Zed, not
Infinite
surprisingly at all,
does
it's
play
very
Zed.
strong.
Well, Infinite does play Zed, and I know that Screen Hunter doesn't necessarily like to
Hmm.
play against Zed. I don't either, to be honest. So
Nobody likes her,
pretty
yeah.
pretty safe ban, I'd say.
Kha'Zix's another very safe ban. Nobody wants to deal with that, but maybe Queen removing some of her options. I don't know how much Kha'Zix she played,
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of wondering like what part of her tier list we're hitting. She definitely can play more than a few things, but how often does she play them would be, I guess, a good question to look into.
and finally a Jax ban. I haven't seen a single game yet where King got his hands on Jax. It has always been banned, so probably
Yeah,
for a reason. Probably for a reason.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure we actually let him get his jacks in one of our wins against them, but I'm pretty sure he made a lot of things happen with it, I guess.
And
So I wouldn't fault him for the loss in that case.
but King not having a single care about his Jax being banned, he's gonna blind pick the Pantheon top, really just putting a challenge on True Maybach to see if he's gonna be able to deal with it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a message saying I'm going to all in you at level 2. What are you going to bring to the top lane? And it is one of his most frequent top lane champs as well.
I'm surprised though, because usually from a Pantheon you'd expect it to be a counter pick or like know what you're up against because some matchups can be pretty rough. But
Oh, for
Pantheon
sure.
just not caring.
Yeah,
And
no, he's basically saying, I am better. Bring whatever you want to the top lane. I'll see you there. The challenge has been issued, and it looks like it's been accepted.
with a Quinn, if that's locked in, True Maybach just showing the biggest set of balls I've ever seen. If that's a Quinn top,
Yeah, man,
it's most
the
likely
camera's
gonna
going
go
to be
somewhere
locked in
else.
the top lane.
I hope for Maybach's sake that this is a Scion top because otherwise this Quinn is gonna. But the Ignite comes in from Maybach, so it's gonna be Quinn top. Wow. So really say I've never been. Wow. I'm at a loss for words. I've never seen a single pick screaming like, "Come at me, bro! I don't care about you."
Yeah, bring your stun. I'm going to hop away and hit you.
We're gonna see how that goes, but
Now,
very
this is
interesting
actually
top
going to
lane
get
play.
really spicy in the mid lane
Yeah,
as Screen Hunter has picked his brand. He's very strong on that champion. It's definitely something I'd recommend getting rid of.
we've seen Queen on her Amumu already last week, I believe, and she did a wonderful job. Braun was still part of that combo, and we saw how scary it was. To counter that, we see the cute schoolgirls going for an Oriana mid, which is very good against Brond, um, if played well. We always need to assume that, and might be bringing some more teamfight potential and a Sivir.
Oh man, I'm actually very excited for this match. Both teams seem to be saying, "Bring it! We're just gonna straight up Royal Rumble you."
Yeah, that feels like some WWE fight right now
Yeah,
going on. Just the Royal Rumble, everybody going in mid lane, jumping and hitting each other as hard as they can, and hopefully somebody survives somewhere and wins the game
yeah,
for one of the two teams.
yeah. No, I think like honestly, the cute squirrel girls you were saying basically seem to be the underdogs in this case, but
Yeah,
if they get rolling like a couple kills, I don't want to be on the other side against Scion, Oriana, Sivir, and Quinn coming at you.
yeah.
Like that just doesn't sound very fun. Especially when Screen Hunter doesn't have Ghost, he's chosen Barrier.
We see the two final picks coming from the Turtles, which are going to be an Ezreal and a Taric. So maybe respecting the schoolgirls comp, going Taric just being like, okay, well we need to have a way out of this fight if needed. Using the
Yeah.
ult is, if it's timed correctly, can really be crushing on a Taric.
Oh, it can pretty much just auto win the fight. Like if they're
Yeah,
even in gold and Taric, like it can be used as a disengage very well, but also even an engage. If you run at them and you hit them with a lot of your like skills and Taric Belt engages as they return fire, they waste a lot of their mana, they waste a lot of their cooldowns, and it can turn very ugly very quickly.
but that really means nothing with these team comps, because the last pick for the schoolgirls is a Morgana, and that's an interesting one. Where sure, if they engage right now, Taric ult comes down, schoolgirls are in trouble. So their answer to that is to actually use two ultimates, Oriana and Morgana, stunning the entire team while they're invincible, just delaying the fight and then fighting them back once more. So there's gonna be some fireworks in the mid game. I really can't wait for that.
Which team do you think kind of won the draft?
Um, I have to go for the Turtles, just getting them, like that top lane matchup influences that decision a lot,
Yeah.
because I'm really skeptic about the Quinn top lane to face Pantheon. It's
It doesn't sound like a lot of fun, in my opinion, but if you're highly skilled on Quinn, you can maybe pull it off.
for sure if Quinn
Plausible.
gets 2-3 kills ahead, Pantheon is gonna be crying top lane because there's nothing he will be able to do. So I'm expecting Zebo going top lane a lot in the early game, trying to snowball his Quinn as hard as he can.
That would definitely be a very smart move from them. Where do you think the other team should be looking to snowball? Should they be trying to return or?
I would really be playing this game towards the top lane, especially since Pantheon has TP and his ultimate. That's going to give him a lot of mobility if he gets going to really snowball the other lanes, basically giving the Turtles two junglers.
Yeah,
If,
no, for sure, a lot of mobility now. Quinn does kind of make up for a lot of that as Quinn is a race car
yeah,
moving around the map.
Quinn is still going to be Quinn.
Yeah, but now like that's still like lets the turtles have a chance to get the jump on the enemy team if they kind of play it correctly.
It's going to be a very interesting game. What do you think? Who do you think won the draft phase?
You know what? Like I'm gonna say the turtles if they play it correctly as well, if they can get any resemblance of a lead in the early game. But let me tell you, like I wouldn't want to play against either comp. They're both
Yeah.
very scary, and one or two mistakes either way can pretty much flip the game on its head.
Mm-hmm. And the scariest thing is like I keep coming back to it, but this Quinn just going all out and picking it against Pantheon, it's very it's very hard to play against that because sure the matchup is bad for Quinn, but especially because it's been in it has been locked in right after. We
Oh
need
yeah,
to
that was
expect
definitely
something
a very
scary coming out of
interesting.
this Quinn. It's most likely a very strong pick of Maybach. So it's a huge wild card right now. We have no
Yeah,
clue what that's going to do, but the
yeah. If we
courage.
rewind to that stage of the draft, like
Mhm.
first picking Pant alerted us. We were like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then that first pick for the other side, Return Quinn, was like fireworks going off in the
Yeah,
top lane.
both teams just having no respect for each other, saying, "I'm gonna like kill you, then revive you and kill you again until you just cannot do anything." So
Yeah,
we're gonna
I'm really
go.
interested how King decides to play in the top lane.
Mhm.
Uh, if the Quinn is able to get a lot of harass out at level one, then with the Ignite, King's very susceptible to an all in. So he's got to be careful about that.
Mhm. So we're loading up into the game. Some connection issues from our side, but we're finally gonna catch back up, and we need to adjust these because the name tags are wrong. Uh,
Uh-oh. Who
just
is in charge of that?
I don't know, but that guy needs to be fired. It's me. Uh,
Oh, I saw nothing.
good, good. You saw nothing. Everything is good now. So yeah, perfect. Um, yeah, very interesting game coming up, and very hard to call as well. Exhaust on
Oh, for sure.
Oriana is going to be very useful. I like I like them. The schoolgirls bring two exhausts because there's no really a need for an ignite, especially with their win condition, which is to get a good fight. They're not looking to
Yeah.
snowball lane really.
It's going to really help when that Panth decides to leap into the back line or flank
Mm-hmm.
from the side and then all of a sudden exhaust right in his face. Like it's going to
Yeah,
definitely throw him off.
you can shut down the Brawn and the Pantheon at once. That could really flip the fight, and it's really gonna help them play around the Taric ult, which is pretty much their win condition right now. That or just that super scary Quinn getting out of control. Because
Who do you think has the advantage in the bot lane
in
in
bot
laning
lane,
phase?
it's gonna be going to Ezreal and Taric, I feel, if both teams play well. In the mid lane, it should go to Oriana. So really very strong uh mid as we seem to have issues with the game. Just nobody being on any team right now.
Yeah, I'm on zero. Oh, I think I
Oh,
just.
all right, Rito. Thank you for the new client. It's amazing. It works.
I know. Lags every time I join a game.
There you go. So we're in. So a very strong mid lane by the cute schoolgirls, but a very strong bot lane by the turtles. Both teams are really going to be trying to play around their own strength,
Yeah,
and we're going to see who comes out on top of this Royal Rumble as we lag.
we
Amazing.
freeze again.
So really some connection issues. Hopefully that
Now, how
doesn't.
about a matchup we haven't spoke about? What about the jungle just before Morgana misses a Q, walking
Oh,
into
is
three people?
Morgana lagging as
I
well?
think. Yeah, I don't know. That looked
She's gonna
very
get out. Nice flash, just not taking a
interesting.
risk. Maybe a little bit of flag, maybe just
Yeah, it looked like
clicking a
she
little
kind of
bit
just
too
auto
early.
ran in and then she kind of had her connection. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
explains the pause. Might be coming a little bit late, but Oriana DC'd as well. So remember the RPL rules. Each team is allowed 5 minutes of pause time. So yeah, hopefully the schoolgirls will be able to fix that pretty
Now,
quickly.
is it something with the game itself? Because it's already froze a couple times. I
It
find it
might be
suspicious that
that as
two
well.
people just disconnect at the same time because we just played them and they had no connection issues whatsoever.
I don't know the rules, the RPL rules about if there's a technical issue on the side of the game. Uh, Hopefully, Alice's going to be able to message me and we're going to figure that out. But
Yeah,
until then, we're going to be assuming that it remains by the standard rules of 5 minutes. And if a team goes over that, there might be some problems. But yeah, as you can see, the game really is having issues right now.
yeah. Give me a second. I'm gonna talk to him.
Yeah, please figure that out with Alcid. Please, it would be amazing. Until then, we're back into the game. So we haven't mentioned a lot about the junglers, mostly because jungle matchups don't are really weird, especially when there's two tanks one against the other. They're both gonna try to
Minions
play
have
their own game.
spawned.
But what could tip the balance in one jungler having more impact than the other is the fact that Queen forgot to buy. So she's coming in with no items. It might be no problem. It might like
You know, sometimes you just don't need items.
maybe she's gonna try to go for an early jungler item. We don't know. It might be some kind of strategy, but I'm not too sure.
She may have just forgot to buy. You never
Yeah,
know.
maybe just, especially with the pause coming in, just thinking about something else at that time. And we're gonna go into the lanes. Very standard starts so far from the junglers. Mumu backing already.
Very nice W by Brand in the mid lane.
So Mumu really forgot to buy, and now should be on her way back to the blue buff. So it was not a strategy, just that sort of thing happens. We've seen some pro games so far with the no runes, no masteries on the side of players. So forgetting to buy,
Always fun times.
yeah, it's not that big of a deal when you put it that way. So early leads, we can see Ezreal and Tyke really pushing out the bottom, not looking to be friends at all. And Sivir on the receiving end so far. Top lane seems very trade heavy, as we expected. That might be good so far for the Quinn though, because she has one more potion and she has the Ignite.
For
However,
sure. Now, she probably would have wanted a bit more harass on him by this point in the lane. He's kind of getting access to all of his skills, which definitely helps him in an all-in.
but she also has to be careful. It's a really tricky matchup because if Quinn just pokes out Pantheon too much, he's gonna back and TP back to lane, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be bad for Quinn. So what Mavac's trying to do right now is get Pantheon low enough and low enough on potions to be able to all in him and making him think he can win this. That's her goal so far. We're gonna see how that goes. As we can see the first CS lead coming into the bot lane by Ezreal and Tarif getting a 10 CS lead already, which is kind of a big deal. It is to be expected because it's a Sivir ADC, which means she doesn't really have early game power. She's more of a scaling ADC compared to Ezreal, but it's by no means over. And ooh, nice hit by Orianna, just chunking down Queen, punishing her
Queen.
for coming mid.
The Amumu. Yeah.
Yeah, the Amu. We're gonna go.
Now, one thing to track for sure, we're talking about a big lead in the bottom, which seems to be narrowing a bit. It's 11 CS. I saw it as high as 13-ish. But now, how about the jungle lead? We've got a level experience lead as well as a CS lead.
Most of that can be attributed to the late start by Mumu, who had to back pretty early
For sure.
because forgetting to buy. So it's not that big of a deal just yet. Also, none of these are carry junglers. They're looking really to just out-tank the other. As Orianna goes aggressive, burns the Brawn Flash, Very nice thing. But in
Oh, a big fight in
exchange,
the top lane.
fight top
Flash
lane,
by King and first blood. It's
it
gonna be a traded kill though, so
it's gonna
not
be
bad for
traded
Quinn.
back. Very importantly, but very nice play by Pantheon, showing who was trying to show that he was right into picking this Pantheon blind.
Yep, he's
And
also gonna get a great chance to set up the wave however he likes because he can just
yeah,
TP back to lane.
so very nice play by him. Lost flash, so we might be seeing Sion coming top pretty soon. Let me just disable the chat. I don't know why it doesn't stay that way game after game after game, but hey, there you go. Both teams feeling chatty a little bit. Maybe trying to make the other one feel that they're confident after that trade top lane. But we're gonna have to see how it goes. Meanwhile, so bot lane not going that well so far for Sivir, really being on the receiving end and not finding
Oh,
the
we have
answer.
an ult from Panth in the mid lane. Looks like it's going to get the flash at least and the kill. Wow. So a
Very nice
wasted
game.
flash in the mid.
And we can see why King has been target banned, but there's no answer just yet. They're not able to deal with Pantheon. So what do you do
Yeah.
against a player that you cannot ban out? And you cannot outplay?
You bring Dr. Nope.
you bring... or you cheat and you bring a diamond top laner without saying anything.
No names. Yeah.
Yeah. A very hard lane so far for cute schoolgirls, being on the receiving end and falling down 500 gold.
Yeah, I think the whole play though was just set up by a little hesitation. Like when the Panthalt came in, if you thought that you were in range to get jumped on, you needed to preemptively flash rather than flash when the stun had already went off on you.
Yeah, maybe overestimating the protection of the tower. Uh, but
We have
while
some
Pantheon
trades
got
going
some
in.
kills, Quinn managed to get ahead in CS, so it's not over by any means. But these spears hurt. Quinn needs to be playing pretty defensively. Meanwhile, in mid lane, just some trades over and over, nobody really coming out ahead. The junglers are soon going to be able to go and influence that, because Sion is going to be level 6 pretty soon.
Sion's a little out of position in the river here, but he's gonna get away.
So is Tarek, and he's getting punished for it. Lost 2/3 of his HP already. So that might tip the laner face and give Sivir a chance to catch back. As we see Mumu just coming down to cover, just in case, but then is going to decide to back. Very wise move. And the trades continue top lane. Pantheon gets the Chaman Quinn and almost kills her. Quinn not being able to find that solution, not able to find a way out so far from the aggression that the Pantheon brings. Maybe she found it though. Ignite goes off, the turret, minions hit, and she gets the kill. Another trade back.
There just seems to be a lot of unforced errors, though. There's a few mispositioning clicks with like auto attack range and certain things. Like he's definitely walking into a lot of the damage he's taking. That being said, he's been able to now twice trade it back 1-for-1, which is not the end of the world for them.
Yeah, especially since Quinn late game is gonna outscale Pantheon. Both teams know that perfectly well. It's really gonna come down to, can Pantheon use these kills in the early game before Quinn's kills? In the bot lane, we just saw a nice binding from Inae, getting the Taric, forcing the Turtles bot lane to back. But that doesn't solve the CS difference, and it's at this point it's getting more of a CS problem than a CS difference.
Yeah, it's slowly growing for sure. It's a worrisome trend. However, Sivir will reach a point in the mid game where she can just insta kill the entire wave. So
Yeah,
hopefully it can kind of stabilize.
we should see that happening, but so far, after seeing the just insane play from bot lane of the turtles, I wouldn't be that sure. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. As both teams keep on scaling up, it's a Mountain Drake first, and we should start to see some movement around it. And just as I say that, 3 players from the turtles converge, catching the Morgana off guard, and the kill is going to be going to Ezreal with a nice snipe by the ult. Well played, and that does not help the Schoolgirls as Pantheon gets a jump, lands a spear, but Quinn is unable to trade back. Quinn currently has a null magic mantle. What do you think that's for?
Edge of Night, I'm guessing, to be able to avoid the stun.
That would be my guess as well. It's still pretty weird, I gotta say. As we get the fight for the drag, nice ult by the Orianna, giving one kill over to Sion. But Braun is going to be able to secure that Drake. Very important Drake. Sivir gets jumped on by Taric. Will she be able to kill him in time? No. The ult comes down and saves him. So a lot of fights as predicted. And it's really hard to call a winner. However, with that snipe, maybe Ezreal can do something, and he will. Trading another kill, so...
Yeah, definitely needed to back on that play after.
Yeah. Trying to be a little bit too eager finding the Taric, but nothing too bad.
All things considered, with how slanted the game has appeared, I mean, the gold isn't really showing that, so the turtles are not really capitalizing on it as well as they maybe could have.
Well, we see a top and a ADC powerhouse coming from the turtles, as opposed to a mid lane advantage by Orianna and a huge jungler advantage. We see Sion 30 CS up and a kill, so that's not too shabby, not too shabby.
And Orianna did hit 3 people with ult, so I mean, looking positive for the team fight. All things considered, I think if they can make it to the late game, they can definitely come back. They just have to stop it.
Far from over. Especially since that Queen looks to be roaming. She's hungry and wants some fire. But Braun being pushed back does not really allow her to do that. Nice ult by Orianna, trying to go for the kill, but doesn't manage to get it. However, she
very nice barrier by Screen Hunter. It saved his life.
Had to use both summoners, so really not something he was planning, but at least it's better than dying. And Quinn, she doesn't care about the threat. She doesn't care about the Pantheon. Just flashes in there and takes the kill. Very well played. And this game once more, very, very bloody. We
definitely teetering.
Right. But nobody.
Exhaust comes out from Ward.
And TP from Pantheon. Sivir trying to ult away, but she's gonna go down. However, Sion coming in, he's in trouble, tries to retreat. Ezreal giving him the chase. Will Sion be able to survive? Running for his turret. Pantheon is there. Tanking the turret, but they won't be able. Just one auto attack away from Sion going down.
Quinn is pressuring top 2 as this happens, so maybe going to be able to trade a turret for that aggression bottom lane.
But with Queen coming top lane, it looks like the turtles got it under control.
Still some noteworthy damage on the turret, not bad. That means if they try a similar play like that again, it's definitely going to probably go down.
Yeah.
They were fortunate that Queen was near that part of the map.
Speaking of going down, bot lane is taking a beating right now. So is mid lane on both sides. Braun really getting nice bounce of the ult, pushing Orianna away. Both teams were scared, I'm sure, a little bit on that one. As for bot lane, it's just going back to farming once more.
Which probably favors the Sivir at this point.
Yeah. But at the same time, schoolgirls don't want to stay in the laning phase for much longer because they keep on falling behind. And Pantheon trying to stay in the bush, gets the spear, gets the jump, chunks Quinn, and Quinn just not being able to answer. Trying to go with the Edge of Night shield, gets some damage back, and she does, but Pantheon jumps once more, and it's hard to call a winner on that one.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty even trade. You just have to watch out when you're stepping forward against a Pantheon. Like I'm seeing a lot of very strong trades from the Quinn, followed up by just a little
But
too
as
far
we say
forward.
that Amumu getting the gank bot, both ult coming down from Taric and Mumu, Morgana trying to reply, not managing to do it. Sivir burns both summoners, is not able to get her support away, but she does. Meanwhile, Orianna jumping on Braun and is gonna get that kill. Very nice ult, very nice
Well played.
play in general. And Braun, despite using barrier, does not manage to get out alive. But maybe Pantheon, as his words to say, jumps on Orianna. Orianna is gonna go down, as is the bot turret falling down. First blood turret for cute schoolgirls. Quinn gets the jump on Ezreal. The fights do not stop, but maybe Quinn bit off a little bit more than she can chew. She gets turned back on and goes down. Sion is in a whole lot of trouble. Sivir coming in trying to save him, but she might be just overreaching a little bit. Is gonna go down to Ezreal. Meanwhile, Sion zigzagging in the bushes, trying to get away, trying to somehow just live through this.
Yeah, he's got
CSG,
those special Nikes on. He's
yeah,
dodging.
is gonna go try to kill Nunu in exchange. Will get him. So that's a little bit of a saving grace from the cute schoolgirls. Managing to get one kill, but the goal difference is starting to increase slowly but surely. We're now at a 3k advantage.
Yeah, and this top turret being pressured very hard
It
by King is
it is
just
gonna
gonna
go
make it
down.
even worse.
So now that we got a little break from all this fighting, we see that the cute schoolgirls are behind 4,000 goals right now. How do you think they can come back from this?
They need to fix a lot of their ward coverage, I would say, to catch those little surprise ganks and things at a quicker point. Uh, they also need to start punishing more. Like when a team sends 3 or 4 people to a lane, that gives you a lot of chance somewhere else to make up for it. A lot of times, not I wouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes you can even trade the one turret for two in certain chances like that, like top mid for bottom. Now, I don't think they're gonna have a lot of dragon control for the rest of the game. I'm pretty sure they'll just
A
maybe
fight
contest.
might be coming though. We see Pantheon ult for the dragon. All the ults being blown, but 2 quick kills from the schoolgirls before the Tide Clan ult lands. But that's where we see the goal difference just the
Come through.
turtles powering through that loss and managing to get the kills back, trading 3 for 0 after that bad start. And they might be going for more. Ezreal tanking the trade, but Sion's gonna ult away, and it looks like he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yes, he's gone.
Definitely not the fight they were expecting though.
I
After
think they were
getting
just a little scattered. If you were to get a replay of that fight, their two damage dealers were very far apart from each other, and it kind of put a lot of pressure on themselves to move rather than trade damage.
As we can see here, we had Oriana fighting there. Well, very nice work of the Amumu, just tanking both the Quinn and keeping the Scion into place at the choke point, splitting effectively the schoolgirls into and that's where the fight just crumbled completely.
Now, I mean, on the optimistic side, all things considered, the goal lead has actually shrunk a little bit after that kerfuffle by Dragon.
Which is still surprising. Because yeah, you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect that after a cat fight, but hey, things happen apparently. As we're
Yeah,
getting
it
back to
was
life,
it was a shutdown on King.
that might explain some of the goal difference. Then, as we're speeding back up to life, Ezreal just gonna try to steal the blue buff, but Sound gets away with it. And yeah, remind me of never backtracking the replay again, because I do not know the comments with that. A nice fight in the mid lane, bro. We're gonna be for that one. So yeah, nice Orianna ult. Rod comes in, ults everybody. Pantheon's gonna tower dive, but might have overreached. As the minions hit him, it looks like he's gonna survive. And just a 2-for-1, so nothing too big happening. Uh,
It could have went much better for the schoolgirls, like even gold, even if they were a little closer.
yeah.
They were able to burst down Taric before the ult actually
They had a
went
very nice
live.
start with the Orianna ult. And we're back up to life, so there won't be any more of that. We try something, we see that it doesn't work, so we don't do it again. And that's pretty much what the schoolgirls are doing this game. They tried some fights, they saw it didn't work, and now they're going for picks. Sion, beautiful ult, just rushing down mid lane. An awesome bait by Orianna, just taking that bad trade and turning it back around. It seems like both teams are trying to use that mid lane to grab that some advantage though.
It's definitely the next point of attack for
Yeah.
the Turtles, as they've already taken the two side lanes. It's definitely also something that the schoolgirls do not want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
If you fall down three turrets, you just lose so much control in your jungle, and it makes it very difficult for you to come back.
They need to keep it, and at the same time, they're sending Sivir and Morgana bot lane, just making sure that Sivir has no bad surprises going there, and trying to channel a little bit of farm into her, because
That's
being
very
down
good.
40 is kind of painful.
Now remember, like, Sivir was down 40, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
at around 10 or 12 minutes, so the gold did stabilize, like we mentioned it may. So that's definitely a positive for the schoolgirls.
but is it too late? That's what we're going to see in the upcoming minutes, as Pantheon is roaming down the river, waiting patiently, sneakily for the ult to place an ult. And that means there might be some tar diving going on. So, as we can see the turtles just pushing the wave, and they're gonna dive on Stivler. I'm gonna go and ult him, and Braun just falls up on that. Pantheon jumping Orianna in the back, getting her down. And the entire team just keep on tanking that turret. Pantheon is doing massive work, but is gonna go down to the Ignite and turret combination. But that was a 4-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the power of the Taric out there. It went off right as they dove the turret, which kind of caught the schoolgirls by surprise, and all of a sudden, instead of having a favorable trade, it ended up being four unkillable objects moving towards you.
Yeah. Very nice play around the target ult from the turtles over and over again. They're really using that to their advantage. Confident in their ability to synchronize with their support. So a lot of communication, and Quinn obviously isn't happy about that. So having some issues against the deadly Pantheon top lane. The chat is supposed to be off, so I don't know why I still see it. But yeah, I guess that's what happens. But yeah, we gotta understand because Pantheon just jumped on them,
I'm
and
liking this group though by the schoolgirls. I think if
yeah.
they would have sent all three, they would have actually been able to take that turret, as Taric was the real only threat within range.
But they don't know that.
That is definitely true. We have the advantage of seeing the whole map.
I'm sure that so far that if each team had full knowledge, the game would have been much, much more different, and
Yeah,
Sivir would
maybe
never
for
have that
2018.
advantage. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be the new feature after the jungle plants. Morgana, though, definitely not having that spy cam, being able to see everything. She's gonna get jumped on, and she's gonna go down to Brond, which is not the person you want to be giving the kill to right now. And following up on that Morgana kill, Morgana death, it's gonna be yet another break for the turtles as we get a little bit more lag.
Yes, the notorious lag has
Yeah,
returned to the rift.
and the
It looks like this is going to
notorious
be another
Pantheon
kill.
ult too. Just getting the jump on Quinn, Quinn having nowhere to run to. No flash was available for her, so she could not flash that wall. And Sion is going to be trying to run away from this three-man team, and I have no clue if he will manage or if he did manage, thanks to the glorious lag-free game that Riot has provided us. So
Yes, stay tuned.
that this situation
So,
kind of
so
reminds
during
me.
the intermission here,
Yeah,
do you think it's kind of falling a little too far out of range? I kind of figured the dragons would be slanted, but it looks like someone's left the game.
yeah, there has been some DC by Sivir, I seem to understand. Uh, but after she came back, another pause. I feel, to answer your question, I feel like it is really starting to spiral out of control unless Oriana can pull off that ult and get the Scion with her. We're gonna see Amumu coming in with Tara trying to even it out. Hacking on top of Oriana, managing to take her down. Sivrus running for her life. But the invincible team of the turtles under the Tara ult will be able to kill her. Mumu trying to run away. Turret goes down,
Yeah, that was
saving his
almost a
life.
very big mistake there. Mumu almost lost her
Yeah,
life with one auto attack left on the turret.
but this is the scary sight for the schoolgirls. When you manage to get the Scion Oriana wombo combo and still lose the fight, it's
Yeah,
looking
that's
grim.
dark times.
Yeah, dark times indeed. It's by no means over. No mean over. That was a 3-man. If they managed to pull a 5-man Oriana ult, combined with the Morgana and all of this happy little combo we see with Win and Sivir, the fight might
Yeah.
still be winnable.
I mean, that's the beauty about these two comps. One false move and
Yeah,
a few people can be instantly removed from the map.
and it's not like the Turtles have been playing that game perfectly well. We saw them getting caught. That's the other way out for the schoolgirls is to go back to that pick style that worked so well and just focus on getting one man down without losing anybody in return. And once you've done that, you just go for another one, and another, and another, but you don't get caught like Morgana and Sivir having to blow on the hunt. So definitely a very good engaging tool, because Sivir tried to get a little bit more CS than she should have, trying to cheese her way
Yeah,
back into the
this would
game.
be a good time for Baron as they do start it up. Sivir's on the hunt is obviously down. We just saw that used, and so I thought they may lean towards it. It's still very risky.
The schoolgirls are aware of this. They will try to fight, but is it too late? We can see the Nash going down. It is secured by Sivir frontlining that team fight, getting completely destroyed by Pantheon. Morgana falls down soon after, and we can expect the same from Sion, but he's going to be able to flash over the wall. Dark times, indeed, as the Turtles
Dun,
are going to be
dun,
trying to go
dun,
and
dun,
close that
dun,
game out.
dun.
Yeah, walking down the middle with their Imperial minions.
Yep, here they come. There's a stun. And it looks like another.
Oriana getting defeated. I don't I see a way back, but there's Skullgirls. Scion just getting chunked despite being very tanky. Quinn's gonna try to do something, but back away as Jason's 5 members. And that's why, because
I mean, I'm sure they saw 5 members and they went into,
yeah,
but I think he just kind of overestimated the
yep.
slipperiness.
And the
By the
Thorns
looks of it,
target
it's
a
over.
Strider.
All in all, I mean, it wasn't a bad game for a very long time. It was
Yep.
extremely close. I think it was just one or two things flipped it. Maybe a little too brazen in champion select,
Mhm.
but a good win for the Turtles.
So we're gonna be deciding on an MVP, and we're gonna come back to you soon after with the interview. Stay tuned.
The mic's muted.
And we're back with the interview. We got THC Warlock with us. Just wonderful ults, and how hard is it to coordinate your entire team to play around that stupid ult?
Um, to be honest, I just tell them to clump when we team fight, and then I just try to like keep it on at least half the team.
No, I mean, we did notice like maybe two or three times where you guys used it to turret dive, and let's just say right at the worst possible second the other team would want to see would be when the turret when the ult would engage, and then all of a sudden they'd just be caught in no man's land.
Were those planned, or did it just happen that way?
um, I think those just kind of happened. Like I tend to just use it when we turret dive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it just kind of happened.
Yeah,
How come
honestly, no, great job.
you guys first picked a Pantheon, and then they answered it with a Quinn? What was going through your mind when you saw that the Pantheon pick being answered?
Never mind that. What was going on in the comms? Like,
Basically, what was going on was everyone was like, we have to gank top early. Because if Pantheon gets a kill on Quinn, then he just wins the lane. He can snowball it. So we just tried to prioritize getting the first blood onto King, which he ended up doing by himself, which was pretty nice. They traded, but he did get first blood, so that was good.
Were you scared at first, or were you happy to see the Quinn there?
To be honest, at first we weren't sure where it was going. We thought it was gonna go jungle
Hmm.
when we saw the Scion, because Scion top we thought was a little bit more viable. Um, but yeah, when we saw the Quinn top, we just prioritized getting ahead of it, so
For
it
sure,
couldn't
no, we
snowball.
definitely targeted that. We said that both teams would probably focus top lane, so a really good job.
Yeah.
Well,
We
Um,
thank you.
definitely don't want that Quinn getting out of control.
Yeah, Quinn with 2 items is pretty scary. So we tried to make it take as long as possible.
we've seen you play a couple of games so far. You and Nomad just seem to be wrecking every bot lane you play against. What will it take to beat you guys?
uh, play together for longer than 4 years. Yeah, me and him are family, so we've been playing together forever, like since I started. So we, I don't know, we do stuff without talking and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We just have really good synergy. So
Well,
yeah, they're gonna have to bring it to beat us bot lane.
well, thank you very much for your time. Good luck on your next game,
Well,
and
thanks a
hopefully
lot,
we're gonna
guys.
see you again. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you later.
Take
All
care.
right, see you. So we're gonna be preparing for the next game, and we're gonna be right back. See you then. And we're back. Sorry for the delay. There has been a little bit of technical issues on the side of one of the players. But we're back with the next game, which is going to be Rising Red against Fifth Spectrum. Rising Red really looking forward to get a win. Might be giving them a playoff spot. They're currently in the seventh place. They need 2 wins to be able to move on to the playoff. So we're gonna see how that goes for their game. However, they're against Fifth Spectrum, which is not the easiest of the customers.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a good chance to prove yourself though.
Yeah.
Fifth Spectrum is 4-4 right now. RR is 1-7 with a few games forfeited. If they're able to beat that kind of middle tier team and get a win, it definitely helps their playoff chances when they play a couple other teams later.
Mm-hmm. And to manage to get that win, we see a Gnar band. A little bit surprising because Gnar isn't the strongest top laner at the moment. It's probably a target band towards Silky. And the rest of the bands are pretty standard. We see some Zek, we see some Vi, we see some Varus, Jin. Vayne might be the other weird one. But then again, we know some ADCs swear and
There
play
is a
only
lot
Vaynes.
Oriana.
So maybe Film is a Vayne monster and they do not want to face that.
It's plausible. Here, I'll look it up while we wait.
First pick coming from RR is going to be the Oriana. So very safe mid laner. No chance like just not risking anything. We see, however, that Dark Ages has Ignite currently selected as his summoner spell. That might change, but right now it signals maybe some fun stuff. We just went through a game with a Quinn against Pantheon, so hopefully we had something half as exciting this game. To answer the Oriana, we see the Anivia being hovered, which would be a very interesting one, at least not to watch, but the idea behind it would just be let's out team fight Oriana because the lane is going to be a CS fest. And Anivia gets locked in Jinx after.
Now, by the way, an update. 27 and 17 in ranked with Vayne, 61.4 win percent, 10.3 kills, 6 deaths, 6.2 assists. So maybe definitely was a targeted win there.
Yeah, I would agree with you with those stats. You just remove Vayne from film and you force him to show you something else. Hecarim's going to follow up as the jungler. So we see a comp rounded around Oriana, not just a comp with Oriana so far. And Dark Ages sadly removed his Ignite to pick a teleport. So no cheesy stuff most likely coming out from him.
Still interesting as they do still have 2 teleports hovered.
Yeah, but the teleport mid is going to change unless a huge surprise there.
I mean, you
Ash,
never know. Like you can run teleport on a lot of mid laners. I would say it's maybe not the best skill, like a ghost or an exhaust may be more beneficial to you, but it's definitely viable on a few niche picks like Vigar, where you can just start stacking.
but on Oriana,
On Oriana, it kind of
yeah.
lets you know he's weaker in the first couple levels of lane if it is coming out.
Maybe wants to be able to back to lane faster
Yeah, like
against
that's
that
exactly it.
Anivia
You
poke.
eat the punishment
Mm.
and you CS, and then you just insta back to lane with a second Dorians.
That might be the game plan. We see Ash being picked.
Oh,
Is
the
that a
Teemo
Teemo?
lock in. Holy shit.
A blind pick Teemo. Never mind what I said about TP means boring lanes. We got a Teemo.
Yeah, I am actually aware that my good friend Dr. Nope is probably extremely tilted. He didn't get to play Teemo first in the league.
It's actually something I've been experimenting with lately. That and Callista top. But Callista just seems a better pick at everything than Teemo while doing the same exact thing. but I'm really curious because it's by no means a complete troll pick, and we're going back to
And
lobby.
we're back to the lobby.
So maybe it was a mistake. We're gonna see that with the team, and as soon as we go back at the picks and bans, we're gonna uh let you know. So hang on tight, and we're gonna be back soon. And we're back. A little bit of communication issue. The Timo sadly is not was not the intended pick. So we're gonna see the team comps just coming back. It appears as if red team had been using some filler picks of Spectrum just not only owning all champs, so deciding without advising, without letting us know, which is very kind of their
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, it was agreed upon by both
Yeah,
teams though, so like they were aware as they were drafting, but that kind of changes some of the matchups going into the game.
yeah. So we're gonna be having a Poppy against Nautilus on top lane, which favors strongly Nautilus, at least in the early game, and he can snowball that pretty heavily. Also, he has better engage, but we're gonna see Poppy more of a defensive pick and a late game pick as well, coming from Rising Red. In
Yeah,
the jungle, we have Hecarim against Kha'Zix. Two very different junglers. One of them wants to just engage and fight, while the other wants to pick apart your team one by one by one by one by assassinating rather than tanking. So it's really going to be a clash of styles so far. Rising Red wants to fight, and Fifth Spectrum, they'd rather go for like one pick here and there and really keep the game as open as possible.
I'm excited for the mid matchup
Yeah,
though. Snowflake is a very competent mid laner. Uh, Lux is kind of Lux does fare out right into Oriana as well.
hmm.
You have enough range to not just get exploited by the ball over and over again.
It's definitely going to be a farm fest mid lane. I don't see any of these champions getting a kill on the other.
The only thing I could say is if you can get out Oriana's exhaust,
Yeah.
and then you can just straight on ghost in. That's maybe the only way.
But maybe at the same time that exhaust might be giving us the first like some kills mid lane because it's not a cleanse against a team that has Zyra that can roam, Nautilus that can go down onto mid lane, and a Lux with a binding. So maybe if there's some heavy roaming, we could see that exhaust choice being uh, exploited a little bit. As
Yeah,
for the
no, for
ball
sure.
lane, we have an Ashe Thresh against Kate Zyra. Kate Zyra really is as meta as can be from coming from the ball lane. Just we're gonna stand back and poke over and over and over and over and over until you're dead. Whereas the Thresh Ashe curiously is the pick ball lane there. They want to just grab a hook, chain it up with the arrow, and then kill their target. So very
No, I
weird
mean
ball
like
lanes.
Thresh played well in a team fight is extremely beneficial for appealing for your
Yeah,
damage dealers. So it is definitely still viable, but it would have been smarter to pick something like a Karma in that case, just to combat some of the aggression coming from the other team's bottom lane.
it's weird because I would have expected the ball lanes to be swapped around, having Kate and Zyra going in with Hecarim and Oriana, and Ashe Thresh going in with Kha'Zix Nautilus.
Now, I mean, Ash Arrow is still pretty good with a Hecarim situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Once again, Thresh is a very strong pick as well. It's just not, it doesn't have that same oomph. It needs to be able to counter the Zyra. Like, MF is a very popular pick into Zyra. I personally like, once again, Karma is a great choice. Like, there's just a few better tools, I would say.
It's definitely going to be a very a pick that we're going to need to be watching for. The
Another one
playmaking,
is top lane.
yeah. Well, top lane won't be that interesting. I think it's more going to be to the jungler side.
Yep,
I feel
it's
with
going to be the
the
2v2.
yeah. Who do you think got the better end of that stick there with the pick and ban?
I'm thinking I'm thinking if like they can get the Nautilus to head early through maybe even a gank or anything CS advantage, just so they can get him ahead as they roll into the mid game. They're gonna have so much peel for all of their damage dealers, and if Oriana's ults aren't on point and hitting multiple people, I think they're just gonna struggle.
Mhm.
You're gonna have like an overextending Hecarim, like I don't know. Now, don't get yourself wrong. If RR plays their comp correctly, they can really deal out a lot of damage. They have a lot of CC. They are definitely not like gonna just roll over in a fight.
Bad news, though, it seems like the lag is gonna be carrying on this game as well, as
Hallelujah.
we have some difficulty just loading into the game. So hopefully it doesn't stay. I mean, I really hope so, but we're gonna have to see this. Uh, as I'm just updating the names for this game, so we're gonna have it's RR against FS. There you go.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Perfect. So both sides are ready. And
Yep.
very defensive standard battle line tactics coming out of both teams. Just really holding onto that line,
30 seconds until minions spawn.
making sure no invades happen. But at the same time, I don't expect RR to be invading that early into the game with their lack of CC. FS could definitely have tried something though.
Yeah, Zyra was getting a few seeds in lane as well, which is always a
Mhm.
good start. Could have probably got like one or two more before moving over to the jungle start, the leash.
Minions have spawned.
Interesting build so far. We see Nala starting with Doran Ring, really wanting to put some pressure onto Poppy, who went with Corrupting Potion, knowing that she's probably going to be on the receiving end of that lane. Both junglers are going to start at their blue. So we might be seeing a Kha'Zix gank on top lane at about 3 minutes.
Which would be definitely a great path. I don't know if I agree with Hecarim being bot side at the same time.
Then again, maybe we're going to be seeing some cheesy things. But it doesn't look so. Lag kicking a little bit. We're really trying our best to diminish it right now, but we don't really have control over it, sadly. So let's see at both lanes. We can see Kha'Zix having a little bit of advantage in the jungle so far. Hecarim is still doing the Gromp and finally is done with it. Whereas Kha'Zix is already at his third camp and soon on his way to the fourth. Top lane is really just a wet noodle fight.
Yeah, look at that damage.
That's scary. I'm afraid one of the two is gonna die due to just like getting bursted down.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Seems like throughout that wet noodle fight, Nautilus is grabbing an early CS lead, but then again that might be mostly due to the wave placement. So really both teams playing it slow, not wanting to do much, but nice trade by Nautilus. That definitely wasn't a wet noodle.
Yeah, but just gonna be chugging a tick of the corrupting potion and pretty much gonna negate all the damage. Nice hook by Thresh.
Nice hook by Thresh.
Ashe getting a lot of damage.
Zyra flashing out and Kate healing. They will both survive. Zyra just hangs on in there, but definitely a bit of a scary situation for FS.
Yeah, and that is two summoners down on the red side.
As we said, Kha'Zix might be going top. He did, but Poppy is being pushed in right now, so there isn't really a gank opportunity so far. Meanwhile, we're just gonna go back to farming, it seems, around the board. Nothing too much, but it seems like Kha'Zix has his mind set on ganking mid. Is placed pretty well in that bush, but nothing's gonna happen once more. Maybe a lack of coordination a little bit showing out of fifth spectrum, trying to get that Kha'Zix pick, influencing the game early, but not really finding a way.
Yeah, you don't want to like force it. You want to be looking at where the lanes are positioned, and so if you see the person you're trying to gank pushed all the way to the turret, unless you're gonna dive it, which is unlikely at level 4, you just want to come back at another point. You need to wait until the lane resets or something else occurs.
And while we had an early advantage in the jungle by Kha'Zix, all of a sudden it's to Hecarim, but Poppy flashed in and gets the first blood,
Wow.
despite Nautilus flashing away that shield throw.
And
Securing the kill.
that got the flash, so I mean
Yeah.
that's even more devastating.
But at the same time, bot lane, there might be some more blood. Thresh goes in for a hook. Exhaust going down both sides. Kha'Zix trying to get there on time. Ashe is going to fall down, and it seems
Very
like
nice
Thresh is going to
turnaround.
run for his life towards his tower. Nice job by Fifth Spectrum to go and equalize that kill top. Getting it onto Zyra not being the best way to
No, I
to
mean
start the
Zyra's
game.
usually second in damage on the team.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, or even first, so it's not the worst.
And a good team to snowball to start getting a lead is to grab an early Drake. Sure, it's a Cloud Drake, it's not the best one for that, but it's still a Drake, and it's still going to be very appreciated by everybody.
Yeah, it helps with rotations, but I mean, you definitely don't want to see the good old clown Drake
Yeah.
after getting that pick in the bottom lane.
Orianna wondering where Lux went, spam pinging, and as soon as they hear the Drake going down, they know that they have been stolen from Drag.
Orianna is doing a good job by putting pressure on the mid turret.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to take the turret, obviously, at this point in the game, but any chip damage you can get is better than nothing.
Mostly because it denies the CS from the other mid laner. And as we can see, there's already 10 CS difference, which is nothing compared to the 20 CS WoW player. So maybe trying to find a way out of this one for Fifth Spectrum. It looks like RR won that playoff spot, and they're showing up big for it so far. Just textbook League of Legends, playing safe, not
Nice
doing
trade by
things.
Poppy.
They're not trying anything. They're not, like last game we saw a lot of aggression. This time they're just, well, why should we fight you? We're winning
Yeah,
already.
this is League and chill.
Yeah. But I doubt that it's gonna have a happy ending for both parties.
That's just the way the game works, you know? You have a winner and a loser.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, that's a big... Oh, that was a great flash by
We just
Orianna.
said before the game that the lack of cleanse on Orianna might be creating some kill opportunities in mid lane, and Orianna overstaying a little bit, getting caught by that binding, just as Zyra gets caught by Fresh Hook and nothing's gonna happen out of that. Trying to bait a little bit too much.
It was a bait as
Yeah.
the jungle was rotating inwards right at the same time. Panther ults.
Speaking of jungler, Hecarim trying to go for the kill on Lux. Lux running away, and it seems like she's gonna get out. A lot invested in that mid lane. The ult and the ghost from Hecarim, but he did manage to get both of Lux's summoners.
Which is good for return ganks or even just to put some of that pressure off of mid. It also forces Lux to back, which gives their mid laner a little bit more time to soak up gold and experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the worst possible thing that could happen, especially after the kill was just picked up by Snowflake.
Yeah. Very nice back timing for the Lux as well, so really not that big of a deal. if she has no summoners. We're gonna need to see though what RR is gonna try to do to exploit that lack of summoners. So far it seems like the answer is just, well, let's go back to farm and leave that decision for our own selves in, I don't know, 1-2 minutes. We're gonna see what we're gonna do then.
Yeah, I'm guessing Hecarim is gonna probably clear the Gromp, maybe do the Scuttle Crab, but then I could see him definitely consider looking to the mid. Snowflake does have a pink ward in the bush. They will be aware of that, which kind of puts a damper on that angle.
Top is pretty juicy as well. Nautilus being low on HP, and there's a Poppy there. And that's where Hecarim's gonna go. Charges in, pushes in, and nice combo on the wall.
Rates
Nautilus
down
ulting,
the
flashing
fly.
away, trying to hook his way out of this sticky situation, but he's gonna go down. And mid lane,
Nice
another
flash.
time, Orianna got caught by the Lux binding. She manages to flash away this time, but definitely another close call.
We're gonna see a gank on the bottom lane.
It seems like they're aware of it. Spectrum trying to focus on the Thresh, but he's gonna flash away, and they're gonna turn it around, hitting on Zyra. Zyra lands the exhaust, Caitlyn, Kha'Zix jumps in there, gets exhaust as well.
Really nice play from Thresh.
Everybody's just gonna tuck
That
tails and
headshot
run.
almost took Ash out.
But the superhero Hecarim is bloodthirsty. Nice flash by Caitlyn, trying to get out, but she's gonna go down.
Nice kill. Really great play.
Spectrum just oversynced a little bit after that gank, thinking that, hey, maybe, you know, they were low as well, we don't need to go back all the way to the turret.
Oh no.
Sometimes even going back to the turret doesn't help you, as we can see Orianna just not having a nice matchup mid lane.
Yeah, like I mentioned, like Lux is pretty decent into Orianna. I actually sometimes pick Lux against Orianna, but there's other things that are probably better. So Snowflake is probably one of the best mid laners, and so it's kind of expected. Orianna just needs to get to a point where she can do damage in the team fight, and I think they'll be successful.
Yeah. We're gonna need to see the pressure of this Lux with mid-trit almost being down, last quarter HP. Is Lux gonna try to roam after, but she's just gonna try to keep on getting Orianna down. We're gonna see Thresh is moving in towards bot lane. Plays Caitlyn. The Ashe
That was
ult
just
will give her-
perfectly. That was actually perfectly comboed. The CC was layered quite well, and it's pretty much a free kill.
No chance for Caitlyn to get away. Just a very nice chain, and yeah, no
Yeah,
counter
the fact that he could get the flay off into the Ashe ult basically made the hook like free. And from that point onward, you can't survive.
Nice run by Poppy, catching Kha'Zix off guard as he was trying to kill Lux.
Now, one thing to mention is Hecarim has picked up a 2-level lead in the jungle. Definitely not something to scoff at.
As we have a fight going in, Lux ult will not give the Orianna. Orianna's ult, however, will hit pretty much everybody. Poppy trying to come in, get a kill. Lux is going down, but she is going to survive while retreating. Nautilus, just everybody wants to back out of this. Nobody
Man,
wants
that's
any more to
crazy. Look how low everyone is. They all just squeak out.
do. Nobody wants any more fighting.
Yeah,
Rising
yeah,
kind
they're
of
like, alright,
regretting
you proved
leaving.
their point. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Rising Red kind of regretting leaving that conquer of this farming, as in the kills, and that did not pan out too well. But
At the same time, it's still got a modest gold lead at 13.5 minutes. It's up to 1.4k, 1.5 now.
most of it can be attributed to the farming on ball lane. Ashe being up by 30 CS, 1 kill and 1 assist, definitely a pretty important lead.
Yeah. the big discrepancy in the other lanes is probably 75 to 44 in the jungle. I mean,
Yeah.
giving Hecarim 2 kills and an assist is obviously really helping his already strong clear.
Hecarim and Ashe definitely being ahead so far for Rising Red, but a lot is going to come down to how much this Lux can do. Because sure, she only has a Tensius lead, but that's 2 kills. It's worth a lot. And also Lux
Yeah.
is still going to be Lux. Kha'Zix is looking for a game towards bot lane, but it's going to be spotted with a nice hot shot.
Yeah, and now I will say, as we have a wet noodle fight in the top lane,
Oh yeah, we
we
have some
were
time to
kind of
talk.
critical of the Thresh. I would say so far it's been working quite well. He's been landing the plays and the hooks that you need
I
to
agree.
actually make the pick viable. Like, Thresh is really good in solo queue to make sick plays for days.
He has a very good kit overall, and every aspect of it has been used so far by Gigs. So really trying to squeeze the most out of this pick as possible. Meanwhile, as we have a 3-on-3 being prepared bot lane, but Lux is going to jump once more on Orianna and is going to get her down. That mid lane is starting to be an issue. But Thresh lands yet another hook. Zyra trying to get out. Caitlyn is getting exhausted, so she won't be able to go for a kill. However, Nautilus TP's in, gets that launch, tries to chain the CC. Hecarim's coming in, Poppy TP's bot as well. Everybody's coming in, and so far nobody's dying. However, Lux did manage to get a kill. Rising Red is trying to tower dive, and it seems like Fifth Spectrum doesn't really want to fight this, so they're gonna let the turret be punished. Lux
Oh, a
does
snipe
snipe
by Lux.
the Ashe, and that's gonna be the go-to call for Fifth Spectrum, just going in, getting the kill on Poppy, and maybe looking forward to get
Yeah,
that
and that
bottom lane
gives
turret.
the lead to Red side for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
I would say it was definitely very, very aggressive to send your Poppy that deep and path it that way with a Nautilus there.
And
Um,
it gave a nice bounce there to Fifth Spectrum that now they can pick in the dragon, they can choose to pick the turret, they were free to get whatever they wanted, and it seemed like they saw them on the Drake. Hecarim trying to come in for the steal, but is gonna get punished for it, almost goes down. Lux's ult missing, trying to predict the movement of Hecarim, but slightly misjudging that one. Still a very good trade of kills and objectives going over to Fifth Spectrum. So they're definitely not out of this. They're here to play, and this Lux is getting scarier and scarier by the minute.
yeah, I mean, it's just really going to come down to which hole they can plug up. Can Oriana kind of stop the tide, or can Caitlyn and Zyra do the same? Because so far it's just kind of been back and forth dominance from the opposite lanes, like mid for red side and bot for blue side.
Yeah. Both teams definitely having some weaknesses early game and trying to patch them up on the go as it happens, and that's what makes the difference between a good League of Legends team and a great one. A good one is going to be able to win their lanes most of the time, but a great one is going to be able to come back with losing lanes.
Yeah, now you
Despite,
see, I really like this play from RR. I like the fact that they sent their bot lane mid after getting that bottom turret, because now Orianna is basically zoned off of her own turret. Or sorry, Lux is zoned off of her turret, and before that point, they had full control in that lane.
Nautilus might be getting caught though. Uh, Many ults being used on him, I'm not quite sure about that. They all line up for Lux's ult. She gets two, Caitlyn gets another one, and now Rising Red is trying to run away. However, Fifth Spectrum have their words to say, and Lux is going to get another one, going 7-0.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Rift Herald for sure. You definitely don't want to use your Orianna ult on Nautilus with the other 4 right there.
Who would you
Maybe
give
didn't
the
see
repair
that.
ult to?
I'd give it to probably Kha'Zix, so he doesn't like do as poorly.
Yeah. They ought to go for the split push option with Nautilus, which is not a bad choice at all. It's going to give him an even bigger edge over Poppy. But that might not be needed as the top crit is being dwindled down slowly but surely, and it falls down.
Yeah, at
4K
this
gold
point,
bait to...
RR needs to be racing to the mid to take that turret. Nautilus can't hold 3 versus 1 if Poppy were to come up. 4 versus 1 if Thresh makes his way on Poppy, but
How
we'll
do you
see.
shut down that Lux, though? You don't really have any assassins if you're Rising Red.
Red team's turret
They're
has
gonna
been
be
You have
looking...
to CC. You have to just chain CC. You have to get a pick. It has to be a uneven fight. Like at this point, Lux is just way too far ahead.
And they need to stop fighting in these choke points. Like we saw, the last fight was right below the dragon pick in that little corridor, giving Lux just begging to be ulted by Lux, and she did it, grabbing 2 early kills and giving another one right away to Caitlyn. Pretty
Yeah.
much destroying Rising Red's chance to get a good fight there.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was back to the point Orianna ult was on a single target tank. After that, it was extremely forced. It felt like, oh shit, we didn't kill him. We have to make up for that, and that decision ended up funneling them all into a Lux ult, and it was kind of lights out.
Kate
It
might
was
be
the
getting
final
caught.
spark.
There are some TPs coming in, but it's going to be too late as Hector manages to grab the kill. But the fight just keeps on going. Poppy disengaging a little bit for the team. But Zara running away, Nautilus coming back to defend her. Lux just once more going in, grabbing that current off point, trying to go for the bind on Poppy, but misses it. Poppy goes back in and is going to fall down. Really trying to save the Thresh more than anything at that point because she had...
But now this is very good. You see Orianna's top taking turret, bot's gonna fall obviously, Ashe is pushing mid, so if I was on the red side right here, I would be pressuring bottom as hard as possible.
Yeah, they need to take that trade even though it's not good for them right now. They would much rather have just have it in an Ashe Orianna to try to defend that push. But Rising Red's just coordinating well, making sure that they give as less as possible over to Fifth Spectrum. But it might even be top tier turret.
It's at least a
Like that.
decent amount of damage. They may not secure
Very
it.
decent.
It's gonna be close. They're probably gonna commit. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
One last auto.
So see that? That turns a extremely negative situation into almost like an even gold trade, like 2 turrets for 2 turrets.
Sure, there was some kills bought, but at that point, it's just... if you lost that many members, being able to get as many turrets as your opponent is way more than enough. And Zyra get caught, just a little bit of a lack of vision, and they're gonna chain everything onto her.
Man, this Thresh is making us eat our words.
Yeah.
Just landing hook after hook.
As we can see, sneaky Baron Nashor call. While that might be some trouble coming out from Rising Red, they do not know about this. It's completely in the dark. They ping mid where they think the opponents are, but little do they know, as they're getting that drill, they're soon gonna hear the Nashor sound, and they're gonna be scared. Already you can see Nashor going down, and you see all 3 members, Poppy, Hector, and Thresh just falling back down to mid. Immediately.
What they need to do is before they reset, they need to push the waves out as far as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ashe is doing. But it's so scary to do because they do not have information on that side of the map. One more past the river on the top side, so you do not want to be face checking that. A very ballsy call, but at the same time well orchestrated. We saw the pink ward being placed by Caitlyn, making sure that nobody had vision of that. And now with Baron empowered minions and a scary, scary, scary Lux, they're making their way down mid lane. Starting to
Yeah, and
move
don't
up.
forget, they're still going to be having that Nautilus lead in the charge.
And we saw how much he could tank last fight. But it seems like they do not want any of this mid lane. They're going to be going top, where they have a huge wave of minions just begging
They're
to be
looking to
used.
just out-rotate the other team, maybe get a pick.
Nope.
It was possible.
They're not going to try to go into Orianna.
It looks like the other team's late, so RR is just a little behind on the play. This turret may go down because of it.
Fifth Spectrum, that being said, Fifth Spectrum, despite having the lead, they're against an Orianna. It's still very scary. If we see Rising Red being able to chain that CC up, it might lead to just a horrible team fight coming in. And it might even be like, it might even go as far as being a 5-0. So, Fifth Spectrum having to fight for everybody, for everything they're gonna try to take still. Which is not the position you want to be in when you have, like, an 8-0 Lux and a Baron Nashor.
Yeah, the buff's already about, like, 60% used. So if they can hold it to just this one turret going down with the kind of delayed rotation, that would actually be a really good victory for them.
But they might try to engage. Nautilus gets a jump, and the Lux just poking. But at this point, it's more like chunking half of the HP of most team members of Rising Red. Which I find kind of sad so far, almost. Because despite all that advantage, we saw barely any change in the health of the kit. But as Lux gets a bit, that might change soon. We can see Shell Fresh, and now ults are being used left and right. But nothing too big happens.
No, if you're RR, if you could just walk away from that.
They should be very happy about how things went so far in this defense against Nash.
The Baron buff is almost about to drop too. Looks
But
like they
nice
will be able to
rotation
pick
from
up one more
Spectrum,
turret.
turning their sights to mid lane, they're gonna get it. But 2 enough turrets.
And there goes the Baron, so I mean that really helps as now the wave clears back online for RR. That doesn't help though.
Yeah. Lux just chunking more and more. And Rising Red having no answer for it so far. Now it's Ashe that falls down, despite using heal to try and save herself. And that might be the go-to button for Spectrum, but they seem hesitant about it, not too sure.
Yeah, they still don't really have an answer to the amount of wave clear that RR has, so if RR can stop getting hit by the Lux binds, there's definitely a way back in.
And they need to be scared about this Orianna pick. Especially combo with the Poppy and like all that AoE CC that we have from Rising Red. It means that tower diving is not really an option. As both teams just keep on dancing. We're gonna be having a Drake in 1 minute. It's going to be a Fire Drake, so that's gonna be pretty massive if we get another Fire Drake on Lux.
Yeah, man.
But the game might not even last that long. That amount of play.
We'll see, like, I mean, they could go really, really fast, or we might be here next Thursday.
Fifth Spectrum just deciding to play it safe. They're gonna bag, they're gonna spend their gold.
Probably a wise choice.
Yeah. And now that maybe Kazius is the only one left to buy, yeah, he hasn't backed.
He still has time if he leaves right now.
But we're gonna have a Drake, so I think he's gonna back after it. just to make sure that nothing too bad happens. Does not want to be conceding that blue buff.
And he does recall back. It doesn't look like RR is going to contest right away, so I don't think he'll be punished for it.
So maybe a slight opportunity for Rising Red. The nice trap wall by Kate means that it's going to be pretty hard also with Thresh still being in base. I don't think there's going to be any contest on that Drake.
We're about to find out.
As we can see, Poppy is moving in. It's too late though, Drake is being chummed down heavily, and it goes down.
Yeah, it looked like it was just fully conceded. No member really like even moving towards it for RR.
Rising Red definitely need to do something. They're being out-rotated, and just every objective is going towards 5th Spectrum right now. They're going to be trying. They need to get a fight soon, otherwise they won't even be able to fight anymore. And they might have that chance for the Nash. However, it's being baited. Nautilus is going to go down on Hegren. The 2-man Nox ult that completely destroyed the front line.
Now that Poppy ult does kind of reset the fight.
Nice finding my Thresh, and Nautilus goes in. Lots of ults, summoners are being burned. Nice Orianna ult, that's what we were talking about. That might have turned the fight completely on its head. Nautilus goes down, so a 2v1 for Rising Red.
Very nice fight by Rising Red. 3-man Orianna ult, perfectly comboed with the Poppy going in.
That could have went a lot worse for 5th Spectrum.
So that just shows you though, I mean, we got a pretty sizable gold lead, and one successfully executed Poppy Ori combo, not even the Hecarim, already turned the entire fight around. So definitely far from over.
Rising Red won that playoff spot. They will not let it go. They will not give up on it that easily. And despite being down by 6,000 gold, they were still gonna try to fight and somehow find a way to win it. It might also delay even more 5th Spectrum, because after a fight like that, the last thing you want to be doing as a team that is ahead is to take another fight. Because if it goes slightly worse, that was an ace and a Nash for Rising Red. So you didn't.
Yeah, like if Poppy wouldn't have lost 70% of his health before that combo hit, like if that would have been like just a little cleaner start, that is probably an ace for Rising Red. 3 members were under 150 health.
But it looks like 5th Spectrum will let that go to their head as they're moving forward. Nautilus is being punished for it. And Ash ult followed up by Thresh.
Very nice hook.
He did go down.
Man, this Thresh pick may be a possible MVP choice if Rising Red wins.
Definitely, just landing hook after hook after hook, keeping his team in the game. Some wonderful job from a pick that we were not too convinced about at first.
Yeah, like I said, it's got a very high chance of being successful, but at the same time, maybe not the strongest possible pick. But like I said, if you're a Thresh main and you don't play Karma, bring your Thresh.
Maybe Thresh is the hidden OP pick of this patch.
It's quite possible. We might be witnessing it right here for the first time.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still a pretty sizable lead for 5th Spectrum, so we're gonna be needing to see like a little bit more of these fights before we can start talking about Rising Red winning it.
For sure, no. In fairness, like you're definitely right, but at the same time, a lot of that gold lead is in those 2 extra turrets. Now, giving up this Baron would be massive, and it doesn't seem like they're reacting at all. But And they're not gonna make it there. It's gonna go down.
Yeah, not being able to make it there in time.
We'll see
And
how much they can get from it this time. They didn't really get as much as they could have with it last time.
we saw how few resources, few objectives Fifth Spectrum was able to get out of that first match, and what a very nice goal Rising Red managed to put up. We're gonna see if they're able to do that same miracle once more.
It's a great chance too for Fifth Spectrum to break the base, which is like kind of what they're struggling to do against the wave clear. But if they're not able to break the base, once again, a lot of that gold is sitting in those pretty accessible turrets for RR.
They might also be waiting for the Elder Drake to spawn, get that huge buff, go up to 4 Infernal Drakes. Just the thought of it is making me a little bit like want to throw up.
Yeah, RR's kind of lacking on the word coverage right now, and that's definitely not something you want to give up. It's basically you need to walk away from your inhib turret at that point.
Poppy trying to
A
get a pick
flash?
onto Lux. Flash. Ash gets the ult, but will Lux be able to get away? It seems like Poppy is almost gonna go down. And she survived with
Oh wow.
HP. However, we can see just the disband from Rising Red just going back, wanting nothing to do more with that. We saw
And that may be the inhib turret. Nope, they've
nope.
decided that the Inferno,
Inhib
or
turret
sorry, not
would
the
still have
Inferno.
been a little bit hard due to Oriana presence, but the Elder Drake is definitely being tasted close right now, and there's pretty much nothing Rising Red can do to contest it.
Yep, not even a response.
But so at this point, they need to just kill the minions. You do not want to be fighting. Fifth Spectrum is way too strong.
Yeah, and I don't know if Fifth Spectrum should be kind of wasting as much time as this. They need to be pretty much full out aggressive as they have these two buffs. Recalling kind of is just eating a few more seconds off of both of your buffs. And RR is doing exactly what you're supposed to do. They're just pushing the waves out.
But the Elder Drake does not last a long time. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
see.
check. Let's check right now. It's
We can see it's about half. Like they burnt through about half of it,
yeah,
and
and
they're
their
still on
Baron
their side of the
is
map.
their Baron's at about 10 to 15% left, so they're pretty much done their Baron as well. And once again, they still haven't broken that outer ring, like or the inner ring. Sorry. The fortress is up, and here's gonna be here's gonna be the push that they hope to get through.
Nollis
Waiting for them.
gets hooked, but I don't think they can follow up on that. There's still the Elder buff. So
I think Baron's gonna be down by the time that wave actually gets in there.
we're gonna need to see this, but so far it
Yep,
looks like
Baron
it's
just dropped.
Baron did drop, and
Elder's got about 25% left.
yeah, it's not a
So
long
like,
time, especially judging from how fast these waves are being cleared. I don't think they're even gonna be able to take a single objective off of that. A
for
very
both
strong
buffs,
pull.
that's a strong win for RR in that
Yeah,
situation.
and a
Definitely
huge
want
blow
to try
to
to
the
prevent
morale. Like, if you're not able to close the game with that, and not even come close of getting a single objective, the
for
team
sure.
comm should be pretty negative right now.
Yep, and then on the flip side, the like RR team comms will be pretty excited and pretty happy. Like, all right, we did it, we held off. So it definitely could be a swing point.
Because you need to know that at this point, from this point on, your team is just going to be falling further and further behind. We see it in attempt and engage.
Yeah, once again, like, another forced play, like,
Yeah,
once you got that wrong target there at the first Ash ult, you need to just back off and cut your losses.
maybe a little bit too much happiness coming from that wonderful hold, and seeing that the Elder Drake buff is gone. Trying to overreach a little bit to get something, but that won't happen.
Some
And
nice poke by Lux onto Thresh, trying to stop the hook train.
so far, it's not enough. But almost landing on Caitlyn, that would have been a massive hook. Probably turning the entire game at this point.
Yeah,
And
if Fifth Spectrum were to be over aggressive and die here, the punishment would be at least 2 turrets.
we can see probably a fight going in. Nautilus is gonna ult Ash, but Ash flashes away and remains safe. Meanwhile, Thresh really eating his socks right
Nice
now,
flash.
flashing out of the ult. But that's a lot of summoners being burnt from
For
Rising
sure,
Red.
he probably could have sidestepped it, but I think at the point he realized he wasn't gonna make it, he just burned his flash rather than going down.
Taking the chance is not a good idea in this spot. You just want to be playing it safe. Do not give Rising Red any chance to break that wall you've built.
Yeah,
Maybe that the Spectrum hasn't understood that there might be a way of digging under that wall. Like walls don't keep anything out from them for too long. I think we've made enough fun about Donald Trump so far about his wall that they should know there's like other ways than power on through it, which is not gonna happen. And that way might be another Nasher, especially
yeah,
since Hecarim's backing.
they definitely don't want to give up this Nasher for free. Poppy does have teleport, so can react, but Ori and Hecarim need to ASAP get over there. They have the 4-man, Poppy is working her way upwards.
Yeah, but Fifth Spectrum is not aware of the positioning of every player on Rising Red, so they do not want to risk it. And now they're gonna
They're
try
gonna
to go
start
for it.
it.
Hecarim coming in, ulting, but kind of whiffs it. Ash's ult missing, field goals the entire team. They're trying to get something done. Oriana's gonna get the kill on Kha'Zix.
RR just hooked Caitlyn.
But Ash goes down. Nice work from Lux. The health bars are getting lower and lower, thinner and thinner as we keep on fighting. And finally we see Rising Red just running out of this. But will they be able to? Poppy gets her GA popped, and I think she's going to be left for dead here. Trying to get a little bit of something into Lux. And she
Take
does
the
manage to get the
lantern.
lantern.
Yay.
Once again,
Yep.
this Thresh giving us another reason to love
Yeah. Chat spam gigs.
him. I'm pretty sure that everybody on Rising Red is going to be buying gigs a beer after this game if they end up winning it.
Yeah, and he says he can't carry from support.
Ah, screw that. Not if your name is Gigs. You can do anything as a support. Especially when the casters say that your pick is questionable.
Fucking casters.
It's the caster's curse. It's real. It's real.
Yeah, it happens because then after I complimented it on it in the top side near their
Yeah, he
kind of
overreached,
base
right?
turret,
Right after.
he overreached and missed the hook. Yeah, right after I said it. So it's just like,
We're doomed.
yeah, happens.
But at least we all know that this game will never end as a draw. Hopefully I get curse on that and it happens because I want to see what happens. Like,
That's actually what killed tic-tac-toe for me.
what would happen if two teams
And
were
X's
just
and
in
O's.
Like, you make a bot that kills both Nexus like at the same time. What happens?
Mm,
Like, who wins?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we should have them do it.
Like, it cannot be. No team can win, but no team can lose either. I
Let's
definitely
hope
want to
it
see
doesn't get
that.
to that point,
Yeah,
because we're at 44 minutes currently.
we're so
Already
far from
have.
that, and it
Yeah,
looks
we're.
it looks like we're gonna have Rising Red attempting a first Nash, but as they see Fifth Spectrum responding, they decide better.
Yeah, it looked more like a bait to me. Fifth Spectrum was ready to go. Nautilus has access to TP. Maybe not the best ward choices, but they do have two pretty decent spots.
Yeah, we can see kind of a cluster vision, 1, 2, 3, 4 areas in like a single screen. So that's a lot, especially that none of them is a control ward and it misses the ward at the back of the pit. So yeah, definitely a sad sight.
What kind of we got the Elder coming up in 50.
Yeah,
So that could be another. I wonder if a team would be willing to trade it for Baron.
yeah, we saw so far this game one team just giving up Drake in order to get Nash. Will
Well,
we
I
see
think that
that
was
again?
just blind at that point, but like, I mean, like, if you were RR, would you give them Baron, which they've not done a lot with twice, for that buff in the team fight? It's obviously not going to be amplified with like one dragon as much, but
Yeah.
still better than kind of the nothing they've picked up the other two times.
And we're gonna get a fight. We saw the Caitlyn trap wall being placed, and there will be some blood being shed for that over that match. Both teams just trying to get some info on the other. Ward's going down. Fresh gets caught, and oh, he will
Wow,
survive,
that's
and
a lot
that's
invested.
yeah, that's
That's
two
two
very
ults
important
down.
ults. Sure, Lux Laser has no cooldown at all whatsoever, and she
Almost
lands
half
it once
done
more.
already.
Fresh is going to be able to flash away, but that's the go signal. Nautilus lands the hook, but then they decide to back out, so
Fifth
a lot
Spectrum's
of
the
back and forth.
stalling.
Yeah,
Lux's ult is up right now for those keeping score.
Fifth Spectrum sees this huge wave in ball lane, just pushing through, so they're trying to
That's
keep,
that's a Zyra ult wasted
yeah.
there.
Well, wasted not really, because now we see Rising Red having to answer one of the two immediate threats: lose Ash or lose your enemy. And they decide to defend against the Nash. They get the shutdown onto Lux. That's a very huge kill. They might be turning to Nash now. It seems like the call is to do so.
There
Meanwhile,
comes
the
a
minions
great
keep
heal.
on streaming and balling. They need to do this fast. Nollis is going to try to just dive some attention onto him. He does
Another great
manage,
hook.
but he gets a little bit too much. His G is being popped, and the Baron is cancelled. But
Yeah,
however,
they traded it for this.
they traded it for a 1-for-1, which is not the best outcome. Especially
Did
since
you
the
see how
minions
low
are
the
still
Nashor
balling,
did
they
there?
get the inhib, and Rising Red needs the back. They cannot stay here. Nice body block by Ash. Barely saving.
Poppy went in, I don't know why.
Yeah, Poppy going in. They're trying to make something out of this. They see the minions, but they don't want to be answering them, and they're starting to go down slowly but surely. The trades
Nice pickup.
the kills are being traded, but the base is going down. We can see one Nexus turret. So far, the
Yeah.
minions by themselves doing more work on the base of Rising Red than a two-time buff, like Baron buff holder, the Spectrum team.
Was able to get, yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
And it's just, I think at that point, You need to just send your Poppy bot. He has teleport. He can get there if there's any shenanigans at Baron, but you can't just make the call to keep going in unless you 100% know you're gonna kill all
That's
of them.
if you see the shenanigans, and they did. They know perfectly well what's going on. Poppy is coming in. Won't be able to find anything, but meanwhile, Lux is getting punished by the Nash. Poppy is going to try to zone out Kate and Zyra, but she's really getting focused heavily. Lux trying to stall for time in that pit, but is going to fall down to the flesh. Hecker himself. Both teams just trying to fight without getting the Nash aggro.
Caitlyn's doing so much damage in
Yeah.
this fight. Just
She's
tearing them apart.
tearing the tanks apart and just Nautilus keeping very good control of that fight, staying in the front line. But that was a fight without Oriana. Oriana had to be
Yeah.
all in to get what he needs.
I mean, it looked great. It kind of looked great until you realize that Caitlyn was sitting at 100% health with both sums, and then
In the
at
back
that
line,
point,
just
it
firing away, and she has that last whisper. She's almost full build. She hurts. But now Fifth Spectrum is going to have a third Baron buff, and now the base is nothing near as strong as it was last time. So
yeah,
will
there's
they
no
be able to
defenses anymore.
capitalize on it? We're gonna
It
need to
almost
see.
means that Elder's gonna be free.
Yeah, if they decide to go for it. At this point, though, with a turret almost down, a Nexus turret almost down, I feel like going in for it. Just trying to make it be the smartest choice. But we're gonna need to see the turret just slowly getting back some life. So the more they wait, the harder it's gonna be. But I wouldn't be surprised if, with this Nash, Fifth Spectrum manages to get all three inhibs down. It's not as strong as having all the inhibs down at once, but it's still pretty powerful. And then that Hecarim's coming in, but gets completely destroyed by
And just
Caitlyn.
remember, 68-second timers on that death.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
so like,
long time. And it's a 68-second with another stream of minions coming bow wave to destroy the turret. Nautilus is going to engage. See that. Everybody just jumping and trying to get some kills. Ashe defending everything she can, hitting everybody, but she's not able to do enough. Both teams are going to back out. Poppy trying to stay for one more kill, but she does not manage to get it. She almost goes down. Might even still be going down. She's gonna live, but meanwhile the base is going down. I think this is pretty much GG. Fifth Spectrum are gonna be targeting the Nexus, and it's gonna keep going down. What a game!
yeah, it was back and forth. Like, I mean, 51 minutes, 54 seconds. It was quite the event, I would say.
That was a very close one. We really saw a wonderful hold over
Yeah,
and
a lot of
over by
positives
Rising
for
Red.
RR. A lot of positives for RR, even though they
Yeah,
lost. I mean,
a very solid game, but they end up losing it. We're gonna need to discuss about this entire thing and come up with an MVP, and we're gonna be right back with the interview. See you then. And we're back with, you probably guessed it, Snowflake Gecko. Welcome. With the let's go.
Hi.
Welcome. What a
Thank you.
game!
Yeah.
So much going on. At first we wanted to MVP the minions, but since we couldn't really interview them, we decided to go with you.
Oh wow. I'm so honored.
We saw the
Oh,
minions just doing wonderful work while you were a Nash.
yeah.
It seemed
Yeah.
like you guys were trying to bait and keep red RR with you as long as you could to let those minions push. What was going on through your heads at that time? Like, what were the comms like?
Well, we mainly just said like just wait for Baron, keep going for Baron over and over again, and just let the waves push. Yup. The minions are the real MVP, not me.
Did you think that it would be that effective? Taking one turret and then Hinib almost getting down a Nexus turret?
No, that wouldn't be worth it at all.
We saw you just going on a rampage early game against Oriana. Is that a matchup you practiced a lot, or did it
Mm,
just happen that way?
it just kind of happened. I don't really practice that. Just yeah, wait
Don't you
until
like
you
minion
land.
locks?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think she meant the matchup, that she
Yeah,
didn't
no,
really
I was just
practice.
asking because, like, I actually mentioned, like, I actually like picking Lux and Oriana too.
Hmm. How do you
So
feel
you're
about that
wondering.
matchup? Dennis likes it, but it's just Dennis. Maybe he's completely wrong. I mean, we all know he's bad at the game. It's not like his team is undefeated so far. Were you like confident that you would do well, or
Yes, I was very confident. Once I got the first kill, I was like, yeah, I can do this. I'll be fine.
It was a really nice play. What did I guess how did you prioritize like where you were warding and like objectives? Because you definitely had a lot better pacing going after things such as dragons, turrets.
Mhm.
I don't even know really. I just kind of like played. I didn't do anything special.
When you
You
guys
heard it
went,
here. Just automatically does the correct thing.
yeah,
I don't know.
she can't help it. Like, just perfect play comes
I
naturally.
Yeah. If you're stuck in bronze, just remember that.
Yeah, just play perfectly. That's how you get out of bronze.
yeah. If you want to get out of rods, do everything right, and then you'll make it out. It'll be okay.
One day, one day.
One day.
You guys went for a very ballsy Nasher call, like leaving the Mountain Drake go towards the Rising Red and just going for it. What was a two-man Nasher, and then more people went in. The first one, were you aware that there was no vision or that they were on the Drake at that time, or did it just was a random stroke of luck?
Well, we kind of knew that they were going down there, so we all wanted to start doing that since everyone was yeah.
For the stream, just get some good plays.
Yup.
Sounds good.
But
Well,
anyways, great game.
thank
Yeah,
you very
you
much for
you
your
played
time.
well.
Thank you for having me.
No
Hopefully,
worries.
we're gonna
Good
see
luck
more
in
of
the
you.
next coming weeks,
Yeah,
unless we're
Yeah,
playing
you'll see
together.
more of me.
really?
You'll-
Can we expect more 11-2 games from you, or was that
Yes.
your last one?
No, it'll happen again.
It will happen again?
You've heard it here
Guaranteed.
first.
Well, I hope it does. We're going to be seeing your game next week against the Turtles.
The turtles?
Yeah.
The tenacious turtles.
They
Yeah.
sound so cool.
It should be a pretty good game. So I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it, and also looking to see more of that Lux pick if it gets
Yay.
through.
I hope it
Yeah,
does.
we banned it, by the way.
Oh.
We'll see you next week. Thank you all, you guys, for watching. I hope you had a nice time tonight, and we're gonna be seeing you next week for two more very good games. See you then.
Bye.